The queen who chose a human. The alien ships did not come with fire. They came with silence. At exactly 3:17 Universal Time Coordinated, 12 massive lights appeared above Earth. No explosions. No warnings. No broken satellites. They simply unfolded out of empty space like doors opening into nothing. They hung there in perfect formation. Every military radar locked onto them. Every government panicked. Every human looked up. Then every screen on Earth turned white. Phones, TVs, billboards, laptops, airplane monitors, even old devices that were not connected to the internet suddenly activated. And she appeared. She stood against a field of stars. Tall, calm, radiant. Her skin shimmered softly like light on water. Her eyes glowed with deep blue rings, like small galaxies turning slowly. Above her head floated thin arcs of crystal light, moving in slow orbit. When she spoke, her voice did not just come from speakers. It echoed inside the mind. I am Queen Altheria of the Valerian Ascendancy. The world stopped breathing. We have observed your species for centuries. Today, we step forward. No threats. No weapons shown. Just presence. We do not come to conquer, she continued. We come with a proposal. Governments scrambled. Fighter jets launched. Nuclear systems went on alert. Religious leaders began emergency meetings. But no one could interrupt her signal. Humanity stands at the edge of transformation. We offer elevation through union. Then the screens went dark. And Earth was no longer alone. I did not expect to matter. My name is Dr. Elias Verne. I am not a soldier. Not a president. Not a hero. I am a genetic scientist. I study human adaptability, how our DNA changes under pressure, how we survive ice ages, plagues, radiation, starvation, how we keep going when we should not. 48 hours after the ships arrived, I received a message. Not an email. Not a phone call. A beam of pale blue light entered my lab. And a voice spoke clearly. Dr. Elias Verne. Queen Altheria requests your presence. I laughed at first. Then the United Earth Coalition called me. It was real. She had asked for me by name. No explanation. No alternatives. Just me. The transport beam felt strange. Not hot. Not cold. Just disassembled. 1 second I stood in my laboratory. The next, I stood inside something alive. The walls of the alien flagship were not metal. They shimmered like crystal but pulsed faintly like breathing lungs. Light flowed through them like blood in veins. The air felt cleaner than Earth's mountains. Gravity shifted gently with each step, as if the floor adjusted to my balance. Tall beings escorted me silently through curved corridors that seemed impossible in shape. Space inside the ship did not follow normal geometry. Finally, massive doors opened. I entered a grand chamber. At its center rose a throne grown from pure light. It spiraled upward like frozen lightning. And seated upon it was Queen Altheria. She was smaller than her projection, but far more powerful in presence. Her eyes locked onto mine. I felt like I was standing in front of a star. Dr. Verne, she said softly. Your Majesty, I replied. A faint smile touched her face. You may call me Altheria. The attendants left us alone. Silence filled the chamber. Then she stood and descended toward me. You study human survival, she said. Yes. You search for the reason your species adapts so efficiently. That's correct. She stopped only a few steps away. I require your help. With what? She looked directly into my eyes. To create a child. The words hit like thunder. I stared at her. A child? Yes. You mean reproduction? I mean evolution. My mind raced. Why me? Her expression did not change. You carry rare genomic markers. High neuroplasticity. Adaptive immune resistance. Environmental resilience. Your genetic structure reflects the strongest survival traits of your species. You've studied my DNA. We have studied all of you. I swallowed. And you believe combining our species would, what? Create a symbol? No, she said calmly. An heir. The word felt heavy. You're offering humanity a place in your royal bloodline. Yes. That's not a small proposal, I said. That's a planetary shockwave. She did not disagree. Our civilization spans hundreds of star systems, she explained. We have mastered stability. We no longer fear extinction. Then why us? Because we are stagnating. That surprised me. Stagnating. Our genetics have plateaued. Innovation slows. Emotional range narrows. We survive, but we no longer grow. And humans grow. You are chaotic, she said. You fight. You rebuild. You fall. You rise. You adapt because you must. That trait is rare. You want our chaos. I want our future to remain alive. I walked slowly across the chamber. You understand what this would do to Earth? Yes. Religious crisis. Political division. Cultural fear. Transformation always causes discomfort. And what do we gain? Her eyes softened slightly. Advanced medicine. Energy without pollution. Environmental restoration. Entry into interstellar society. Protection from cosmic threats. That's a high price for one child. It is not charity, she replied. It is alliance. And if I refuse? Her pause lasted 1 second too long. We will respect your decision, she said carefully. But others within our ascendancy may argue for different integration methods. Different? I asked. Less voluntary. So this was choice. But not entirely. When I transmitted the proposal back to Earth, the planet exploded into argument. Some called it destiny. Some called it betrayal. Protests filled streets. Religious leaders split into factions. Politicians shouted across emergency broadcasts. I became both hero and traitor overnight. Meanwhile, I remained aboard the flagship. Altheria allowed me access to their historical archives. Thousands of years of records. They were not conquerors in the way humans feared. They were curators. They uplifted civilizations slowly. But civilizations that refused often stood alone against galactic dangers. Alone did not always survive. One evening, I found Altheria in a glowing garden inside the ship. Plants from distant worlds shimmered under artificial starlight. You could simply give us technology, I said. Technology without integration creates dependence, she replied. Integration creates equality. Equality through shared blood. Yes. You are tying us to your throne. I am tying us to our survival. I studied her carefully. And the child? Her expression shifted. They will carry responsibility. That is not an answer. She looked away briefly. No, it is not. For the first time, I saw uncertainty in her. Are you afraid? I asked. Yes, she said quietly. That honesty changed something. Why risk your power? I asked. Because survival without growth is delayed extinction. Weeks passed. Earth debated. Finally, I confronted her directly. You chose me for my DNA, I said. But this is symbolic. Yes. You want humanity to see one of their own beside you. Yes. And if I say yes, I become the face of a new era. Yes. And if I say no? We search for another path. Silence stretched between us. You are not asking for biology, I said slowly. You are asking for trust. Yes. Trust cannot be engineered. Then what do you require? She asked. I thought carefully. Shared governance. Protection of Earth's sovereignty. No forced integration. Equal representation. Legal rights for the child. Transparency in all scientific exchange. She listened to every word. These terms are extensive, she said. So are the consequences. She walked back toward the throne. You negotiate boldly, Dr. Verne. I refuse to gamble humanity's future blindly. She turned. Then let us draft a covenant. It took months. Human diplomats worked non-stop with alien legal structures built on long-term survival instead of short-term power. Finally, the Covenant of Two Worlds was complete. It guaranteed Earth's independence, shared defense, scientific equality, rights for the hybrid child. A global vote followed. The result was narrow. 58% in favor. 42% opposed. Humanity had chosen. The ceremony was quiet. No spectacle. Just representatives from both species. Inside a chamber of swirling light, Altheria stood beside me. You may still withdraw, she whispered. So may you, I answered. She smiled faintly. The Valerian method was not physical. It was resonance. We stood within a field of energy. Warm. Bright. Expanding. Focus, she said gently. On what? On possibility. Light surrounded us. I felt her mind brush against mine, centuries of memory, loneliness, duty. And I let her feel humanity. Our music. Our wars. Our love. Our stubborn refusal to die. The chamber flared brighter than a star. When it faded, a small crystalline cocoon hovered between us. Inside, soft pulses of light flickered. Our child, she whispered. Our future, I corrected. The hybrid, named Lyra, developed rapidly under joint supervision. She had her mother's luminous eyes. And my darker human features. By age 3, she spoke both languages. By 5, she asked questions that stunned scientists. Why do humans fight even when they know the cost? She once asked me. Because we believe tomorrow can be better, I answered. She nodded thoughtfully. When she first stepped onto Earth, billions watched. She knelt and touched the soil. This world is loud, she observed. And beautiful, I said. Yes, she smiled. Beautiful. Years later, I stood beside Altheria overlooking Earth from orbit. Do you regret it? She asked quietly. I thought of the fear. The protests. The uncertainty. Then I thought of Lyra laughing under open sky. No, I said. You changed humanity, Altheria murmured. I shook my head gently. No. We changed each other. Below us, Earth shone, no longer alone. The union did not erase conflict. It did not solve every problem. But it shifted direction. Humanity was no longer a single fragile world. It was a bridge between stars. And it began not with war, but with a question. A queen offering evolution instead of conquest. And a human choosing growth over fear. The child they tried to destroy. The first assassination attempt happened on Lyra's 6th birthday. It was supposed to be a peaceful day. Earth and the Valerian Ascendancy had organized a joint celebration in orbit. Human leaders stood beside alien envoys inside the luminous flagship. Cameras broadcast the event across the planet. Lyra stood between her mother and me, small hands folded behind her back, glowing eyes bright with curiosity. She loved celebrations. She loved human music. She loved asking too many questions. But not everyone loved her. Some humans still believed she was a symbol of surrender. Some Valerian elders believed she was contamination. Unity looks beautiful from far away. Up close, it is fragile. The attack did not begin with a weapon. It began with a signal. A silent override pulse shot through the flagship systems, hidden inside a routine diplomatic transmission from Earth. The walls flickered. Gravity trembled. The crystal arches above the chamber dimmed. Altheria's eyes narrowed instantly. This is not a malfunction, she said. Then the floor beneath the ambassadors exploded. Not with fire. With decompression. A section of the chamber tore open into space. Screams filled the air. Valerian guards reacted first, forming shields of hard light around the guests. I grabbed Lyra and pulled her against me as the air roared outward. Altheria rose into the air, her crown blazing brighter than I had ever seen. Seal the breach, she commanded. But the attack was layered. Internal defense systems were locked out. Someone had help from inside. The realization struck hard. This was not just human extremists. This was cooperation. Someone on both sides wanted the child dead. Lyra did not cry. She looked up at me calmly. "Father," she said, "this is about me, isn't it?" "Yes," I answered honestly. She nodded once. "I thought so." The breach sealed seconds later, but damage was done. 3 Valerian officials were dead. 2 human diplomats were missing, pulled into vacuum before shields fully formed. Silence followed. Then alarms. Security forces flooded the chamber. Altheria landed beside us. Her face was controlled, but I could feel the storm inside her. "They have declared their position," she said quietly. Investigations moved fast. Faster than human politics ever had. Valerian intelligence uncovered encrypted communications between a radical human faction known as Pure Earth and a secret Valerian group called the Continuum Guard. Pure Earth believed humanity should never mix blood with aliens. The Continuum Guard believed Valerian genetics were sacred and must remain untouched. Fear had found alliance. Lyra became the center of the storm. Earth demanded answers. Some called for withdrawal from the Covenant. Markets crashed. Protests reignited. And this time, they were louder. I stood before the United Earth Council via live transmission. "You voted for alliance," I said. "Alliance requires courage when it becomes difficult." One council member responded sharply. "We did not vote for our children to become targets." "No," I said. "You voted for a future beyond fear." On the flagship, Valerian elders confronted Altheria. "You risk instability," one ancient voice echoed through the chamber. "I risk stagnation if I retreat," she replied. "The hybrid attracts conflict. She also attracts evolution." Their society was not used to division. Ours was built on it. And now both civilizations were learning how painful unity could be. Security around Lyra increased. But she did not like hiding. One evening, I found her in the bioluminescent garden, staring at a floating memory crystal. "Should I not exist?" she asked quietly. The question hit harder than any attack. "Why would you ask that?" "Many people are angry because of me." I knelt in front of her. "People fear change," I said. "You are change." She tilted her head. "Change hurts." "Yes," I admitted. "But staying the same can hurt more." She processed that. Her mind worked differently, faster, deeper. "I do not want war," she said. "Neither do we." "Then I will fix it." I almost smiled. "That's not your job." She looked at me with glowing seriousness. "It might be." The second attack came from space. 3 unknown vessels emerged near the outer orbit, ships with hybrid technology. Human engines modified with stolen Valerian systems. Proof of cooperation between extremists. They did not broadcast demands. They launched immediately. Energy beams struck the flagship's shields. The impact shook the entire structure. Altheria stood at the central command platform, calm but blazing with authority. "Deploy defensive arcs." Valerian warships, elegant and curved like living sculptures, moved into formation. Earth's orbital defense satellites activated alongside them. For the first time in history, human and alien forces fought side by side. I watched from a protected chamber with Lyra. She stared at the tactical display. "They are willing to destroy everything," she said softly. "Yes." "Why?" "Because they believe they are protecting their future." She frowned. "But they are destroying it." War rarely makes sense to children. It barely makes sense to adults. The battle was fast and violent. Valerian ships disabled one attacker with precision strikes. Human rail cannons shattered another vessel's engines. But the third ship broke through. It accelerated directly toward the flagship. Collision course. Suicide run. Altheria's voice echoed through the ship. "All power to forward shields." The rogue vessel fired everything it had. The impact blinded every sensor. The flagship shuddered violently. Cracks of light spread across the interior walls. For one terrible second, I thought we had lost. Then the light stabilized. The attacker drifted in fragments. Destroyed. But not before sending one final transmission. A message. Simple. This is only the beginning. After the battle, both civilizations faced reality. This was no small rebellion. It was ideology. And ideology does not die easily. Earth demanded stronger control over Valerian technology access. Valerian elders demanded genetic safeguards on future hybridization. The Covenant trembled. And Lyra watched it all. One night, she approached her mother directly. "You are afraid," Lyra said. Altheria did not deny it. "Yes." "Of losing power?" "No," the Queen replied. "Of losing you." Lyra considered that. "Then we must show them I am not weakness." Altheria's eyes softened. "You are not a weapon, Lyra." "I am not weakness either." Silence passed between them. Then something unexpected happened. Lyra requested permission to address both worlds. Publicly. Altheria hesitated. I did too. But maybe hiding her made fear stronger. Maybe visibility was strength. The broadcast was scheduled. Every screen on Earth and every Valerian world activated again. Just as they had the day Altheria first appeared. But this time, the figure standing alone against the stars was small. Lyra stood calmly. No crown. No guards. Just a child. "My name is Lyra," she began. Her voice carried both human warmth and Valerian resonance. "I did not ask to be born." The honesty silenced billions. "But I am here." She looked directly into the camera. "You fear that I replace you. I do not. You fear that I weaken you. I do not. I am both." She paused. "My human side teaches me to question. My Valerian side teaches me to endure. Together, I learn faster than either alone." On Earth, protests slowed. On Valerian worlds, elder councils listened. "If you destroy me," she continued calmly, "you destroy the bridge you voted to build. But if you protect me, you protect your own future." No anger. No accusation. Just truth. "I will not force unity," she said. "But I will live." The transmission ended. No dramatic music. No spectacle. Just silence. And thought. The effect was not instant. Extremists did not disappear overnight. But something shifted. Human approval ratings for the Covenant rose again. Valerian elders softened restrictions. Joint security operations increased. Cooperation became stronger, not weaker, after shared blood was spilled. Unity forged under attack holds differently. Months later, intelligence captured leaders of both extremist factions during a coordinated Earth-Valerian operation. Proof that cooperation worked. Lyra visited Earth again. This time without fear in the air. Children approached her. They asked questions about stars. About space travel. About glowing eyes. She laughed easily. Altheria watched from orbit beside me. "You see." I said quietly. "Yes," she replied. "They tried to break us. They strengthened us." I looked down at Earth. "Humanity does not unite easily," I said. "But when pushed, we adapt." Altheria nodded. "And the Valerian do not change easily," she said. "But we endure." Below us, Lyra stood among human children. No throne. No ceremony. Just curiosity. Just future. The extremists had tried to erase her. Instead, they proved why she mattered. Because evolution is not clean. It is not safe. It is conflict and courage mixed together. And when fear attacks growth, growth must fight back. Lyra looked up toward the sky. Toward us. And she smiled. The bridge still stood. Stronger now. Not because it avoided fire. But because it survived it. And this time, when the stars looked down at Earth, they did not see division. They saw a species that refused to retreat. A species that chose the hard path. Again.